Okay, everybody, welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing with one of your hosts, Chris Mack. That is me, and my other gracious, amazing friend who's hilarious, and I enjoy doing this with, Elizabeth Stanton. How
My
are you, my
gosh,
friend?
thank
I
you.
know.
What an intro. What an
But I mean it
intro.
though. That wasn't like for show. That was sincerity because like this has been a great journey. It's been so fun. And like if I was going to watch Sex in the City with somebody, I think I found the perfect person.
Oh,
Real
thank
talk.
you.
Yeah.
We'll do
Because like
Gilmore
I don't
Girls
think my experience
next.
would have been the same. Oh, I haven't seen that. Please let's do that. That's
Oh
another thing
my
I have to
God.
I have to get into my lexicon because apparently I missed out so much. That was like early Melissa McCarthy days, and I love
I was
her.
like, are you ready to be transported? Oh my God. Okay, that's a future project. Let's focus
Hey
on the
guys,
task at hand.
keep tuning in. We covering a lot of shit. All right?
Yeah.
we ain't fucking around.
Because we should say we're going to take a brief break, not from making episodes after this, but of Sex and the City, and we'll be doing a movie TBD.
Yes.
But it'll be a movie that one of us hasn't seen, or maybe both of us. We haven't really decided yet, but that'll be after this episode, and we will.
And we'll post, we'll definitely be like letting you
Clarify,
guys know. Yeah, we'll be, putting it on social media, what we end up doing. And so you won't be out of the loop. And we'll definitely give you like at least like a good week's heads up. That way you can go watch the movie yourself and then you can come along with us and see our takes on it. So today we are covering episode 6.
More like episode 6.
See, this is why I have to watch this with you because I enjoy puns, and that's one like everybody thinks that's the lowest form of humor, but I'm like, give them all to me. I'll take
lowest form of humor. Come on.
Yeah, puns are fun. I just did one myself, but it's okay. Anywho, we're covering season 1, episode 6 today. This episode titled "Secret Sex."
Secret sex. So
secret sex.
Big is back. Your favorite. Please. Big is back.
Okay. All right. To be fair, I didn't hate him this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate him entirely. He was a little creepy when him and Carrie went out on a date when he first saw the dress. But I also understand like they probably had to play that up a little more to like. Because that dress was fly. Like, she was looking real...
I wrote, that's barely a dress, young lady.
I mean, if we're going to be honest, that was basically a bed sheet wrapped around her. Like, it was like... If anything, that dress was to signal to a man's brain. It's like, hey, we just had sex. Like,
it's like the color of her skin. It's like it is the naked dress, as they call it in the show. It is totally
the naked dress. Naked. Now I have a question for you because I feel like that is one of the things that I'm curious about. Now I know you can't. Again, we covered this before. I know you can't speak for all women, but do you have a naked dress? Do you have a dress that signals?
Probably why I'm still single.
Well, no. According to this episode, that's the reason why you're. That's not the reason why you're single because you didn't sleep with guys on the first date. Apparently, sleeping with a guy on the first date means you'll never get the love of your life, which I think is bullshit.
Oh yeah. Well, the book that's come up a couple times now comes up again. The Rules. So I looked up I remember kind of hearing about it, but I was also a child and it was like, whatever, I'm 10, not really paying attention to what it is. Yes. So The Rules came out in 1995 and the full title is The Rules, Time-Tested Secrets for Capturing the Heart of Mr. Right. It was written by 2 women who are not relationship experts and have 0 qualifications. And it's a book of rules that suggests things a woman should follow in order to attract and marry the man of her dreams. You should be easy to be with, but hard to get. And the whole thing is that women should not be aggressively pursuing men. It should be men pursuing women, and you set things up to make it such that that can happen. Some of the rules include: don't talk to a man first or ask him to dance. Don't stare at men or talk too much. oh boy, that fucking rule right there for me is no dice. You don't want the chatty, get the fuck out. Don't meet him halfway or go Dutch on a date. Don't call him and rarely return his calls. Always end phone calls first. Don't accept a Saturday night date after Wednesday. On and on and on. Don't tell him what to do. Basically, you as the woman have to like not be yourself and allow him to control and decide everything. And that's how you get him. That is terrible. One of the best ones is don't talk to the rules. Don't discuss the rules with your therapist. That is on this list I found. And that seems problematic.
Yeah, because it sounds like what a cultist leader would say. Is, don't talk to your therapist.
Don't talk to your therapist.
Talk to me. I'm the one that's giving you the keys. Your therapist doesn't know what they're talking about.
And this other woman with no qualifications. Exactly. We're the ones who know. And by the way, one of them got divorced and did snag a second husband. She says with these rules, I didn't have a chance to find out the full history of like who the fuck gave them a book deal when they have no qualifications. But, you know, shout out to mediocre white women on that front, because if mediocre white men can do it, progress.
Okay. I'm glad that you gave us that little a bit of education about the rules. I appreciate it, because I didn't know that this was like I heard, you know, like you said, it been mentioned through the series, but like I didn't know this was like a real book. I thought this was just specifically like something that they talk about in the series.
Oh no, they were on. These people were on Oprah. Vox has a great article about the 20th anniversary of it in 2015 of someone trying it out. I'm a little unclear if they meant they tried it out in the present day or when it came out. Either way, it was disastrous. But this is like I said.
Because here's my problem. Go ahead.
I was gonna say these authors have no qualifications or expertise, and it's like I said in the last episode, women love policing other women, and that's all these are. It's just rules for other women to follow. Men don't have to follow any of these or do anything. It's women telling other women what to do in a very unhelpful way.
Almost in a misogynistic way.
Very misogynistic.
And like, that's not even on us. Like we didn't even make these rules up. Like these are rules that like some women inferred from like mistakes that she thinks that she made, and she's like trying to implement them and like teach other women how to snag a guy. But here's my problem with my entire problem with all these rules. Okay, what happens when you follow all these rules and it doesn't end with you viscerally happily married to the man of your dreams, or Mr. Right, as is quote unquote say? So what happens then?
That's a good question. Like I said, one of the authors got divorced, but she did get a second husband apparently following those rules.
And that's fine. You can. That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. The thing about it is like, okay, fine. These rules probably in some way do work to like get you to a point of maybe being in a relationship, or maybe getting out of your own way to be in a relationship, and or open yourself to be in a true relationship. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be your ultimate happiness, because you can have the same kind of plan for every single guy that you date, but every single guy is different. So like it might work for you to stay around, but it doesn't mean that that guy is perfect for you. And if you're doing the same plan over and over again with every single guy, are you really finding your true love, or you're just using like this tried and true method that works? You know what I'm saying? It's like sticking the key in a keyhole doesn't mean that you're unlocking the door to your future, but it's just opening a door. That's all you're doing, and that doesn't mean that it's the right thing. And so that's my problem with these rules. It's like, yeah, this may help in a dating situation, or it may help you like it, but it's not really improving these women, right? Because if you're just following a plan, like if it doesn't work out, you're not diving into like why it didn't work out. You're not diving into like where you can improve, or where like that other person's mistakes were. Like just because you try, like if you're trying all this plan, you're adjusting to be the perfect girl for this guy. He might be a tragic human being, but you didn't see it because you're following the plan. You're doing the plan. And so you didn't see all of their flaws. And then here's the thing too, when you follow this kind of plan, you're going to put, every time a relationship doesn't work out, or every time you don't get past like date number 3 or 4 or whatever, you're going to put it on yourself, because you're like, hey, I followed the rules. Here they are. I did every single thing that they said here, and it didn't work out. So what did I do wrong? When it's a two-party system. And that's my problem with this. This is my that's my a problem with that whole thing. Also, too, it's just out of date because I don't even think men think like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, the Vox article was interesting too because it got into more modern dating, but even now it's 5 years out of date. But like, just how bad like all the gender norm stuff is ingrained in both men and women. So even though men were like, yeah, I'd love a woman to approach me, or I'd love for her to act, like split a bill, that the study they were looking at said even though they were like, yeah, I do want that, when the time comes, things are so ingrained that they can't. They suddenly are like, well, maybe I don't actually want that, but even though consciously they're like, yeah, that's a good thing. That's a more equal, footing for everybody. And I don't always want to have to pay. And I don't blame guys for that at all.
right.
But yeah, it's a whole. It's like I said, it's an arbitrary system. And Samantha in the scene where Charlotte is like rattling this off, Samantha's like, this is bullshit. It's for women who can't get laid. And she makes an excellent point that I think you kind of got to, which is you can get dumped whenever, so it doesn't matter when you have sex with the person anyway.
Beautiful. Yes, I love that when she said that, because like during this conversation they were all having to talk about like if you sleep with a guy on the first date, like what you're setting yourself up for, or basically you're setting yourself up for failure. But it's like that's bullshit. It doesn't matter if a guy or if you're dating somebody and they don't like you, it really don't matter what you do or don't do. Potentially, because like if they ain't feeling you, or they're in a different place, or if they're like Mike was basically using you as a rebound, there's nothing that you could have done that would have made that shit work out. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm just saying, like, that's what I love when Samantha said that, because like date 1, date 2, who gives a fuck? Like, if a guy's into you, he's gonna see past. He's not gonna think of you as like, oh, that was just a one night stand. If he likes you and you had a connection, then cool. But like, usually you can feel that, you know what I'm saying? Usually you can feel that between the person. You can tell if it's like just a sex thing or whatever, like, because 9 times out of 10, both parties are feeling the same way. 9 times out of 10. There's a few cases.
And
but
Carrie gets so hung up on that after the fact, because they do hook up on the first date.
Right.
And I think somebody says to her, like, well, you just had like chemistry. I think Miranda's like, well, you just had chemistry in the moment. What's the big deal? And like, that does, again, it's not the end of the world. But then she gets so neurotic about it in her own head because she's thinking of the rules, because suddenly she's meets the shitty friend Mike, again, we'll get to in a minute, and all this stuff, and feels like she's not doing any communicating until she shows up at Big's drunk, snaps at him about all this stuff, and then he's like, well, I liked that Chinese food restaurant, so I took you there twice, and I couldn't come watch your bus ad roll by because he was at a Knicks game, which he should have just said, I think he said he had work, but just be like, I can't make it that day. And I thought it was so funny that they were annoyed, and I was like, what kind of jobs do you guys have that you can fucking stand on the street and wait for
Carrie's a writer, remember? So
I know why Carrie could do it. I kind of see
Carrie and Samantha can definitely do it.
Being able, Charlotte,
her job is
Charlotte maybe
on a lunch break kind of thing.
Yeah, Miranda,
I don't know how. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Miranda wasn't there, so, and I was like, that's because Miranda's a busy lawyer.
She's a fucking lawyer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think she could take, well, that was, and the thing about too, her freaking out, I was like, man, like, unfortunately, I understand, like, there was her freaking out on him was kind of a compilation of like her own insecurities and then like the shit that was being said to her from her friends. But it was like, I understand where she's coming from. She does have like the evidence was there.
Yeah, she has
for the conclusion.
Yeah, because he's dicked her around so much before this first date. Yeah,
that and to like what his behavior during said first date led to that evidence being the right conclusion. But on the same token, I had to defend him because I'm like, look, even though he has dicked you around in the past, it's still only date 1. Like, you can't freak out on your boy like that after date 1. Like, you don't know nothing about him. You don't know nothing about his life. Because, like, true talk, y'all have only really had any kind of encounters of, like, hi and goodbye, little flirtation here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was like, y'all haven't even at this point, y'all didn't really truly go on a true traditional first date. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know enough about this dude to show up at his apartment drunk, cursing him out about some shit that you could be wrong about, which turns out she was. So I was like, man, she, you know, I feel where she was coming from, but like you gotta bring that down. Like that's the kind of move that you can do to like fuck up a relationship. That's the kind of shit where guys like, whoa, after date one, you coming up like, whoa, you know?
Because I wrote down he still barely knows her when you think about it. Because like you said, few flirtatious interactions. They had the whole drinks mess in episode 4, where they kind of were like maybe going to be on a date, but not quite. And then he formally, apparently at this point, said, "I would like to take you on a date. Here is the time and the place." And then, they didn't actually go on the date itself, but it got straight to the sex. But they wanted to, so
yeah. And no one's judging on that either. Like, I think that's. Oh, I will say this. I think that you appreciate this because so beginning of the episode, they start with Carrie doing model things,
the photo shoot,
the photo shoot. Yo, I panicked for like a hot second. I was like, "Is Barkley back?"
Barkley.
I was like. Barkley. I was like, is Barkley back? Because like someone get Carrie. She's about to be murdered. Like we know that models is thing.
No.
Now that she's dead, I was like, no, Carrie, don't do this. Oh, even more side note, there's another show on HBO called The Flight Attendant.
Oh, yes, that's where Buckley's from.
Yeah, Buckley. Yeah, I was like, and it freaked out. I was like, wait, Buckley? Because like he's a killer, and I was like, I told you.
Spoilers for The Flight Attendant. I've seen it, but spoilers for The Flight Attendant, Chris.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Pete.
I'll put a note in the show notes.
Put a note in there. I'm sorry. They probably forget by the time they watch the show anyway.
Probably. It's fine.
But I was like freaking out. I was like, is he making an appearance? Is he come back with the vengeance? Is he finally gonna live his true life as a serial killer?
I have good news. We don't see Barkley again, but that also means the authorities don't know where Barkley is. So that is a problem.
Now I have another question for you. Because something that Carrie said that I liked the quote, but I'm not sure I 100% agree with it, but I do like delayed gratification is the definition of maturity. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's accurate because frankly, I watch a lot of like financial advice on like YouTube and stuff like that. And one of the big things is like, oh, you can shop online so easily now and just get what you want almost instantly. But if you wait, you save up the money. Yeah, that's a true thing. And I think for a lot of things is if you wait, you will, you're making the smarter, mature decision.
I think so too. I think there is that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I don't know if I agree with it 100% because I think there is some wisdom in that, like in a lot of things, in life. And I think there's a lot. I mean, I think part of that does go into relationships as well because like I think a lot of people, especially now with how we're connected and things like that, people are there's no building in relationships. They basically are expecting like as soon as y'all go on first date, like you be the total package, he be the total package, and then y'all just have this like amazing whirlwind fantasy relationship. But like that's not how that works.
In theory,
like people get to know each other.
You've done all the legwork in the app, chatting back and forth. I think is the logic behind that. But that so speaking of rules, a friend of mine was like, I don't do more than like X number of texts back and forth of small talk. Like, let's get to the date so we're in person. Because I don't know about you, but on dating apps, I've gone back and forth with people and the text conversation's been great. And then never get it together to meet in person for an actual date. And then it's like, oh my God, I wasted so much time because they didn't bother actually physically meeting me in person. That actually happened where I was getting along great. And I said, oh, I do really want to meet, but I'm going to be out of town on these dates. Can we do it after? And then I checked my phone while I was out of town, and they wrote me what I thought was a hilariously dramatic thing saying like, it's just not, connecting and the distance. And I was like, I told you I was going to be out of town. And they'd found someone else. And they were like, in the time you've been gone. I was like, okay. I was like, but I said I was gonna be gone for like 5 days. I'm at my cousin's like graduation.
Wow, 5 days.
And I made it. I was abundantly, I like checked the record too. I was like, I said, these dates in May were gonna be, I wasn't available, and I had, I explained everything very clearly. Okay. And so I think he just wanted to move on to the other gal, and was at least a nice enough person to say as much and not just blow me off, ghost me. So that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I give him props there, but you're probably right. That's probably just what it was. It's just like, just wanted to move on to the next girl and try to do it like in, I guess, the nicest way possible, which indeed is the nicest way. Like at least being
really
honest. Not best honest, but at least telling you. You know what I mean? He might have been telling the truth of why he was moving on, but like at least he told you, and that is very commendable. But I was saying like, but I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like even like that situation is totally different. And like I get if you've been talking on apps and stuff like that, but like I don't know, even within that, like people just expect that when I think in it, movies kind of tell us that, and TV shows basically like, when you find that person, it's just like it just automatically works. It just works. There's nothing else that you have to put into it. There's no other like effort that you got to do. Like when you find somebody, it just happens, and you just figure it out. And as you go, you just mesh so well together. But I don't think that that's how it works. That doesn't make any, what I mean? Like there's no way.
Everything's far more complicated than
right. Yeah, absolutely. Like in the world of sitcoms and movies where everything's written out for you and how it's supposed to work out. Yeah, it works out that way. But like in the real world where you have different kind of problems that add to you, like that's, what I mean? And I don't think that, I think, it's like one of those things where it's like, you see people and they think that like there's no work, like you meet the person and then like it's just fantasy right off the bat. Like you just figure it all out and just everything just falls into place. There's never any kind of like, trouble or rockiness in the in the ship. But that's not how it works. Like there's real world problems that you have to deal with that like you could be with the person that you're supposed to be with or whatever if that's truly a thing, but like I think because of how instantaneous everything in our nature is now with the internet and phones, like nobody does take that time to build up to that shit. Like they just expect it to be off the bat, and like that's just not how shit works. And this episode was like so much of that. It was amazing. Like so much of like everybody's expectations being like so high up here when really they should bring it to right here until you build up to that level. You know what I'm saying?
With that in mind, let's talk about Mike. Fuck Mike, man. Stan, our cheese queen Libby. I'm glad she jumped his ass.
Straight up, B. I was thinking the same thing. Because here's the thing. Remember we had talked about, I think it was episode 2? When Carrie was dating that guy, I think his name was Larry, and she was like, "Oh, he's like a DKNY dress."
Yeah.
Trying it out. Like, remember that affected me. I was like, man, that made me feel some type of way. And then when Mike was talking to Carrie about Libby, and like how he was with her, and like basically she was basically a rebound that he didn't want anybody to know about. Like I felt some type of way about that because I've been through that kind of situation before where I felt like I was like, is this person into me, or am I just a filler? Am I just filling a space that they need occupied at the moment? And then when they said in the episode that she broke up with him and he was all sad, I was like, fuck yeah, that's what
I was like, good for her, because it's pretty much cruel too that he's like, I don't think she's conventionally attractive, but I like having sex with her and I like all the intimacy she provides. Just straight up using her.
Yeah.
And and she seems like sweet or whatever. We don't really get to know her too well. We know she works as a cheesemonger.
Yeah,
she seemed nice. Seemed like a good person.
Yeah.
And he was stuck in that like, he said he was an ad executive or whatever. So he had in his mind that he's probably supposed to be dating a model or something like that. But whoever he's thinking he's supposed to date wasn't fulfilling, and he meets this wonderful like cheesemonger gal. She's like, have some of my cheese, and he's all into it. But because he's in this very dumb mindset, he misses out on like a really great person for him.
Yeah. Also, too, as far as him, like, I don't know what his standards are on, like, the girl he's supposed to be dating, but he ain't that good looking.
I was gonna say, he's no fucking prize.
Nah, he was like a 5 or 6 at best. And that's like a 6 with a tux on. You feel me?
Libby's not conventionally attractive. Sir, neither are you. Like, pot and kettle. Come on.
Well, you know what the thing about that, but even though he was a douchebag in that sense, I love these little moments in episodes like this. It's because that mindset, you can see that in so many people. You can see that in so many people, especially, and that's according to the thing too. This was 1998, and that's happening more. That attitude that he was having towards Libby, and that look and that view on life, like more people are having that now, especially because of like Instagram.
Oh, totally.
Like that, you know what I mean? Like they see everybody's lives and they're like, oh, that's the life I'm supposed to have, or like that's the girl or the guy I'm supposed to have. You know, I'm supposed to have a guy with 6-pack abs and a chiseled chest, and he's gonna be super sweet and romantic and like really caring. Or I'm supposed to have the girl who looks like a supermodel but is a complete nerd, you know, on the side. Like that's what everybody, you know, everybody has this like vision of what they're supposed to be with, and like really none of us know what the fuck we're doing. Like that's the whole thing in life. It's all a mystery. You don't know who you're supposed to be with. If there's a such thing as a soulmate, you can't have it. If you are, here's the thing. It's a proverb that says a full cup can't be filled. So if you already have your cup full, how can anything else go in? How can you take anything else in? Everybody has this idea like their perfect mate, but if you have that idea and you could already be with your perfect mate, but they don't reach that idea, then you're probably going to lose out on finding that perfect or that soulmate because you already had your idea of what your soulmate is supposed to be. And that's the thing too. We change as human beings. Like the person you were 10 years ago probably doesn't say view the same, or probably doesn't have the same idea or like want of a soulmate as you do now. You see what I'm saying? So like that's why we have to like get out of that mindset of like who we're supposed to be with. Like just fucking live. Just meet people and live and like be open to the idea that like of anybody. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know who you're gonna meet. I do say this, like you do want to be attracted to the person.
Oh, sure.
Like, if you're not you know,
that does play.
I'm not
component.
saying that you gotta like completely. Yeah, it's like, you don't gotta completely wipe. I mean, like you can have a preference of what you find attractive, but at least be open to the idea that maybe that person is not what you've been seeking, but they could be the perfect person for you.
Yeah,
you know,
and with for the most part, because a lot of this is like about being ashamed of who you were with, you know, bringing them to the secret restaurant. I don't think you should be like within reason unless they were like a total piece of shit. And objectively, don't be ashamed of like your past or who you were with. It's fine, you know. It's all part of the.
Who gives a fuck what other people think? If you're happy, be happy. That's really what should matter. If you're happy with that person, be happy. Also, too, though, on that same note, if you're to that point, like, and that's what I want to say. If you're also to that point where like you're having like secret sex or you're not bringing this person around or meeting your friends, then stop wasting their time because you're being selfish by keeping them around to fulfill your needs when they could be off finding their soulmate. You know, if you believe in that kind of thing, soulmates, like you are taking away from them finding their soulmates. And here's the fucked up thing about this too: that person that you're using is going to get hurt. Like once you finally stop being a dickhead and like let them go and gut with them, they're gonna be all confused because they're gonna think that everything was good and everything was right and everything was going well, and they're gonna fall for you. And then you're just gonna up out of nowhere after you decide like you've had enough of this guilt, you just leave them. And then,
but you know what? Our Queen Libby didn't let that happen to her.
She didn't know.
She saw the signs. She knew what was up.
Yes, she did, and that's why I respect.
All hail Queen Libby.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I wish, because like there have been times where I know I've been in one of those, like I was like the secret sex person, and I was like, man, I should have broken up with them because when they broke up with me, I was left in the dust. You know what I'm saying? But like, I wish. That's why I was like, when they said Libby broke it up, I was like, that's my girl. That's somebody who respected herself enough to get the fuck up out of that bullshit.
Libby is.
She's my hero. She's my fucking hero.
We should all be like Libby. We should all be like Libby.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So
also Ted Baker, by the way, sounds like a serial killer name, so it kind of matched his whole persona.
His name was Ted Baker. I thought his name was Mike.
Ted Baker. No, or no, not. I'm sorry. That was That's somebody else. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Ted Baker was Miranda's date.
Miranda's date. Yeah.
Well, first of all, what I wrote down, and I think you'll appreciate this, is Miranda, where is Skipper?
Dude, that was the first thing when they were doing the scene of her, like, them having a little meet cute where she hit him in the head and like they go out. I was like, but what about Skip though? So you just gonna go out with this other dude and not hit up Skip? You're not gonna tell him what's going on? You're not gonna keep him in the loop? You're not gonna, you're just gonna, like, right? Because like, here's the thing. Ultimately, Miranda and Ted Baker, who sounds like a serial killer, who low-key, not trying to judge, but like listens to some freaky shit. So he's like close enough to being a serial killer.
You know what? Miranda pried into that, and is like, if you go looking for dirt or for trouble, you're gonna find it.
Okay, so you basically answered my question, because I was gonna ask. I was like, okay, searching through somebody's apartment while they're gone.
Never done it.
Is that? I know that you haven't done that before. I can tell. But
or have I? No, I never have.
Nah. But I was gonna say, like, okay, let's say you do search through somebody's apartment and you find something weird. Is it still fair for you to judge them even though you were snooping? Because like, here's the thing. All she found was a porno tape of guys getting spanked, which maybe he was into that. But then she's like judging him for it. But it's like, maybe he was going to tell her about that after they got a little closer and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Because like,
it was literally their first date, and then she went ransacking that apartment like she's a fucking burglar. And and I'm led to believe she took that porn tape with her. She stole porn, so, right? I think.
Yeah, because wasn't her and Carrie watching it?
Yeah, she showed it to Carrie, and I'm like, did Miranda go and rent that, or did she fucking straight up steal that guy's porn? She should have stole it and
brought it to Carrie's place so they could watch it together. Wow. So not only is she judging him for his little fetish, but she's also a thief. And she was snooping through his shit when she found it. And then she had the nerve to judge him. Yeah. And that's why, and low-key, and I was like, even though Miranda's my girl, she's my man, pots and pans, I was kind of glad about how the result ended for for her. Because one, she was doing my boy Skip wrong. Two, it was not right for her to be going through this man's apartment when he trusted her enough to like let her stay. Because he easily could have been like, look, I got to get up early in the morning. You got to get the fuck up out of here. He was like, nah, make yourself comfortable, make some breakfast, hang out. I'll be back tonight. Let's hang out. Like, he was super cool and super chill. And then she went through his shit. I was like, man, violations upon violations.
Yeah. It's
she was not my favorite this episode.
She was really not great because and I like, she brings it up, yes, in theory, to be like, okay, I'll do this kink with you, but clearly that was something that was very private for him and something he was not ready to talk to her about. And she totally killed the mood, the vibe, whatever, and got what's coming to her, you know?
Right. And that's what I mean. And that's why we're going back to the initial thing. It's like, you know, that's what that's why what Samantha said earlier too at the party, like a guy can break up with you anytime. It doesn't matter what rules or things that you follow. Look at what happened there. She was like, she went through his apartment and she realized that was a violation. So she was like, you know what? Let me try to, you know, embrace it. And then when she embraced it, he was like, no, you violated my privacy. I'm out.
Yeah.
And I love that because it basically showed the point of Samantha's rant was like, doesn't matter what you do. If it doesn't fit, the guy can break up with you. And clearly she didn't fit. And I would have done the same thing. Like, it wouldn't have been about like the fact that like she knew that I was in the spanking. It was the fact that she violated my space. Yeah. I trusted you enough to leave you alone in my apartment. And the first thing you do is search through my shit. And the reasoning behind it too. You went searching for ex-girlfriend's pictures. Who are you?
Yeah, that's some psycho shit. You've hooked up together once,
right? Like, come on.
I guess
even she told him that. There's nothing.
I guess this is in some ways the equivalent, the 1998 analog of like Googling the hell out of somebody once you meet them and like going through their social media and stuff like that. It's kind of the same thing, except I think
it's not though.
It's more invasive because you're in their space. Like
that's
their
what I was
actual
gonna
stuff.
say. Yeah. Because here's the thing, like doing a little bit of like a Google search on somebody is not as intrusive because obviously that's shit that they want out there to the public. Like if they have an Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, that's shit that they're putting out there willingly to the public, which means if you Google me, you should see that because I put it out there. But him liking to be spanked or just liking to watch pornos of people being spanked, that's very private and very intimate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's not something that she should have known at that time. Like he probably would have expressed that to her, let her know if they dated longer than day one. But she went too hard. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the dick must have been bomb, and she
was like, I want to lock this down, but I'm gonna like sneak around his apartment and figure out how to, I guess, by looking at his shit. I don't know. So weird.
Dick must have been bomb as fuck. She was like, nah, he ain't going nowhere. I think ex-girlfriends, I'm gonna go find him and tell him that he's mine now. They can go fuck themselves. Like none of this shit is going down.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So Samantha didn't have a lot to do, but she did gas everybody up, or gas Carrie up in this episode, which was really nice.
Charlotte too. She's kind of a hypocrite.
Oh, Charlotte's a huge hypocrite in this because she shamed the hell out of Carrie, especially when they're waiting for the bus ad, and she's like, "Well, I told you if you had sex with him on the first date, he won't get him in a relationship." But Charlotte is so in that like antiquated rules thing that I mentioned before, it's gonna keep backfiring on her basically until the end of the series.
What the fucked up thing about it was when she was saying it, like in the initial conversation they were having before Carrie went out on the date with Mr. Big, she was like very like, hey, it's all about us women. Let's stick together. Don't give them a reason to break up with you. And then she did the same thing to the Hasidic Jewish artist. She slipped him and then was like, I'm out. Like you had sex with me on day one. I can't see you as a relationship. But it's like
that's part of it. They're also
you can't do that
because he is a Hasidic Orthodox Jewish person. There are very, very strict rules in that community about dating and who you can date and things like that. Actually, there's a great documentary on Netflix. I think. I can't remember the title of it, but anyway, it's about people who have left that community. But that's not exactly what this show was trying to do.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But I'm saying, and also too, that wasn't her reasoning by not seeing him again. Like that, she used it as a scapegoat, but that really wasn't the reason. like we know it was a little bit about the sleep with the first.
She can dress it up as a cultural difference all she wants, but she had sex on the first date. It wasn't even really a date. She just showed up at his place, I guess, to look at his artwork or whatever.
Yeah.
And they got it on right there and then. So is that -1 dates or 0 date? What is that? I guess according to those rules, never.
In real talk, if anything, that was like it wasn't even first dates hookup. It was meet cute hookup.
Yeah.
So we had sex on a meet cute. Not even
the rule. There's not even a rule for that because it's so unprecedented.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but like I said, all I'm gonna say about her dalliance with the Jewish fellow is foreshadowing.
Okay,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Now,
not that this show is lost and is laying groundwork for puzzles to be solved, but on my 8 billionth rewatch, it's interesting to note certain things.
Right. Well, that's why I like this episode so much because they covered a lot of it was kind of cool because even though Mike was a big douchebag and it is clearly, you know what I'm saying, in this whole topic of the episode, this was kind of usually this is a men's move, a men's kind of douchebags, but low key, the women were kind of douchebags in this episode as well, in a sense. Yeah. Because other than Libby, but Carrie, she was freaking out.
I won't hear an ill word against Libby.
Libby was straight.
Yeah.
She was the most unviolating human being in this episode. But Miranda was violating. Carrie was out there violating. And even Charlotte was out there. Mm-hmm. So Samantha and Libby were the only two non-violating women of this episode.
Although they mentioned very offhand, Samantha says something about not being ashamed of her past sex life, but it is mentioned that she may or may not have hooked up with a high school kid. In a throwaway joke line.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping he was at least a senior in high school.
Me too.
Because I fucks with Samantha. So
given our discussion last time, I really hope he was a senior of legal age. At least she wasn't a teacher at whatever. That line went by so fast I should have rewound it to be like, wait, what was the context of like how that maybe came to be? But yeah. But
I know too, because like what didn't we just like 2 episodes ago we just watched, they were talking about, you know, dating 20-something. It's not a good look if you hooked up with a high school kid after that episode. It's like,
well, this was, I think this was before the 20-something-year-old. I don't know what she was doing. Samantha is wild, and you'll see even more of that. We didn't get a lot of it this go around because she was just really there as but that's the support.
Thing I liked. Yeah, but that's what I liked about her presence in this episode, because she was basically letting the girls know, it's like, stop with that patriarchal bullshit. Like, that's not real life. This is bullshit. Like, dating is it's a shell game. You got to try it, and then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and if it does, it does, and you just keep it moving from there. But it's not a mathematical equation. It's not like you do this and then you get this. Like that's not how it works. It's not how love works. And that's the funny thing, is because that bit of knowledge came from the person who's like the most like non-falling in love, non-soulmate, like getting married type person of the show, and she's the one that had the best advice for these girls about this topic. And to me, that's amazing. It kind of put the script on the head of people, because, you know, everybody thinks that like the people who are in relationships or who are married have it all figured out. It's like, no, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then people think that people who are single and like are just hooking up or having, you know, many dates or flings, they're like, oh, these people are flawed, or they don't know what they're doing. It's like, no, maybe they do have it figured out. Maybe they do. Maybe they know what they're looking for and they just ain't found it yet, and they're just trying like everybody else to figure it all out, because nobody has it figured out.
No, and Samantha, I think wisely, Samantha does not want a relationship, so she is doing all this dating without that pressure on it. The problem for Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte is they're doing all this dating with, I need to turn this person into a husband.
Right.
Which is like so much pressure to put on someone. I mean, it's just, it shouldn't be your end goal. It should be like, I just want to find a good partner.
Yeah.
And they're in this 1998 mode of like, oh, I've got to get married. I've got to find a man, a single woman in New York. What a tragedy, on and on and on with all that malarkey. And it's like, no.
The thing about it is, so like, that's the crazy thing about it. Is like, we are talking about this being like a, you know, yes, this thing is set in the late 90s, but like there are still people to this day that's how they date. You know, like every person that they date, they're trying to turn them into a husband or trying to turn them into a wife, and it's like, that's, like you said, that's a lot of pressure. Like, dude, I'm just trying to like get to know you, like build a relationship, and then go from there. Like, it could end in marriage, but if your immediate goal is like, listen, I'm only doing this to get a husband or a wife, so like, don't come to me if that's not what you're looking for. It's like, well, that's a lot of pressure, because even if I am a person that wants to get married, you're still putting a lot of pressure on me, because now I got to be like this perfect human being. Otherwise, in your eyes, I'm going to be a piece of shit if this doesn't work out, no matter how it ends, because I basically wasted your time because you are trying to like get to marriage like that.
You know? And that, you know, it's a nice goal, but it should not be the only goal.
Yeah, it can't be the front goal. That has to be in the back. Like the front goal, like you said, is to find a person that you can get along with, that you like longer than like 2 hours, and then like you guys complement each other, like where you're weak, they're strong, and where they're strong, but you know, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So like
someone you can build IKEA furniture with without stabbing them with the Allen wrench.
Facts.
That's one of the ultimate tests.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, this episode was It's very interesting. Yeah, I saw a lot of things that. Oh wait, we got to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I know we already kind of talked about it. I made because they didn't cover it because the last time we saw Mr. Big, it was all this like ambiguous behavior that didn't lead to them having this date. So did I miss something in the last few episodes that
you did not? It just at some point between episode 4 and Carrie's brief encounter as a high-end sex worker, Big called her and said, "Let's go on a date. Here's the time. I will pick you up in my cool town car." That's all that happened. There's no nothing.
Okay, I was just making sure that I didn't last time we saw each other, they kind of had that little cute moment, which I didn't feel was earned by his behavior, but like they had a little moment where he was like after she spotted him at the shop or whatever, and then like he's talked about asking her out on the real date, but I didn't know if I missed something in between there to how they got to, because I mean I'm assuming a good amount of time has passed by since that encounter, right? Like at least a couple weeks or so, right?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Who is this guy? That's all I'm trying to figure out. Hearing who is this guy? Like he's the luckiest man in New York, and I'm saying this because like all the shit that he pulled in episode 4, there's no reason he should have gone. There's no reason he should have been able to get to what we saw in this episode of them actually going out on a date and shit like that. But there's no reason. There's no evidence that supports like her saying yes to him for this date. I don't get it. And he got laid too?
Yeah.
Come on. Who is this guy?
He's Mr. Big.
Like this guy is straight up out of a fucking comic book. He's like some kind of fucking super powered lusty villain or something. I don't know what's going on.
Now, can you picture Trump succeeding in this manner at all, considering he's supposed to be the next best thing from Donald Trump?
Yes, but I could only see him doing this with a prostitute. Like if he's like, look, I offered you 20 grand last time. Now I'm offering you 25. What do you think? That's the only thing I can think of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, here's the thing. That's what's like confusing me about their relationship is because Carrie, between episode 4 and now, like she's had a lot of things happen. And on top of that too, there's been a lot of growth, and that growth, the direction of her growth doesn't seem like those two would meet in that growth.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
she regresses. Like, if anything, she regresses in this episode.
What I mean, it's like she's going backwards every time she fucks with this dude, and I don't like this for her. I don't like it at all. I don't like, even though in this episode he wasn't a complete flopping dude, but like still. His behavior suggested that he's gonna be a dude. So like her freaking out is almost justified because the evidence is there.
Strap in, because this is only like the first hill of the roller coaster, man.
I don't want any more of it. I want him gone. I don't want to see him anymore. He's just not good for her. I know he's not.
He's not.
He's not. I can tell right now he is going to be a problem for her. And this is the kind of person too, I feel like that everybody has, well, maybe not everybody, maybe at some point in your life you have like this kind of person that you keep going back and forth with. And like it sucks that you have that with them, because I feel like when you have these kind of people in your life that you keep going back and forth with, they only come around to kill your chances with other people. Like they have like some kind of like sixth sense. They're like, oh wait, this person's happy without me. I don't like it. So then they like pop back into your life, fuck shit up, and then they just disappear again. And this is what this guy keeps doing. Like every time she progresses, he shows up to like bring her down a couple levels.
Yeah.
For no reason. She doesn't even deserve it. Like she hasn't done anything completely shitty so far, except for trying out dude and DK at YJS. But she kind of already got her karma for that with him being all ambiguous and then bringing a friend on a date. So the karma was there. There's no need for this date. This is bullshit. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's gonna be quite the ride. Especially since you don't really care for Big. I feel like the consensus is no one really likes Big as a character.
Okay.
But the journey that they go on has people kind of comprehend why they're together.
You didn't really sell it to me.
Let's just say when people rank all the like longer term boyfriends on the show, he does not really get up too high in the rankings. But I don't want to say who other people's boyfriends are or whatever and whatnot.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm as long as he's not like number one, I'm good. Nope. Or even like if he's at least not in the top 5, I'm good.
Yeah, I feel like he's low. Yeah.
Okay, good. If he's not in the top 5, I'm good because
I know who the top like 2 are, and it's always a debate. Yeah. A lot of people flip back and forth.
Okay, like let it out there, people listening. I like the guy as an actor. He's a great actor. I don't like the character of Mr. Big. It has nothing to do with the actor. Just want y'all to know I can separate.
This is not a knock against Chris Noth or Noth. I'm not sure how you say his last name.
He's a fine actor.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he's so good. That's why I hate his character so much because of how good he is as an actor. So it has nothing to do with him. I don't like the character. I don't want to see anything good happen to this character. After this episode, the only real question I have that didn't get answered, and I feel like because of the way this show is, it's probably not going to get answered in the next episode is, what about Skip?
I actually don't know. He's still around for I think a few more episodes, so I don't know.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about like I know that what happened in this episode is not gonna
impact.
It's not gonna hold any weight in the next. But I just wonder, is Miranda finally gonna let my man go? Like she finally gonna stop?
Set that baby bird free.
Let him go.
Let him fly.
Like him. Yeah, you don't like him. He's clearly the secret sex guy that you're dating. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, your friends know him, but they only know him because they knew him before you.
Yeah, they only know him because Carrie introduced him to Miranda.
Right. That's the only reason why. They don't know him because, you introduced them. So, like, clearly you're not into this guy. So just let him go.
Yeah.
Like it might be a little weird because y'all have mutual friends, but like the longer you let it go on, the harder it's gonna be, and then you're gonna end up having to marry this guy and then like torture him for the rest of your life because you're gonna be unhappy. So why would you do that to yourself? Just rip the Band-Aid, man.
Yeah,
he deserves it. You deserve it because I want to like Miranda again, and right now I'm not feeling her.
That plane will pull up and level out eventually with Miranda. We'll get there, but yeah, it's poor Skipper.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it happens to the best of us. We all fall prey to these human soul succubuses.
It's succubi.
Succubi. Excuse me. Thank you for bringing the education back to this podcast.
Always.
Oh man, yeah, but it was cool though. I definitely I'm ready for the next episode because, man, like honestly, this show, for it to be a comedy, it's getting it's got some good, like some real knowledge darts in it. Like I'm actually like, experiencing this shit. Like like I said, I don't think I could appreciate a show like this unless I was an adult. So I'm actually glad that I am watching it, and also adult at the age that I am now, because I think in my 20s I still wouldn't have been able to like truly appreciate this. For sure. Because my 20s I was just not particularly, but everybody's just out there. We just going through life as fast paced as possible because we're 20. We don't believe that this shit is gonna be over. So like we don't take in all this shit. But like in my 30s, I think I can definitely watch the show and appreciate the knowledge that it's actually spitting out, and not just see like the fluffy, funny stuff
when you're in your 20s, you're just like, I want to have Cosmos, I want the fashion and the shoes, and I want to date all these guys. It's like that's more what you identify with. I think watching it now in my 30s, more, and especially more analytically instead of just like super casually. on basic cable.
Well, you also
most of the
too,
time.
right. Well, it's also too. It's like it's hard to. Okay, that's all I was saying. I was like, I don't want to like insult you by no means. I don't know what you were like in your 20s, but I also feel like you probably you probably can relate better to these women as women who are in their 30s going through these things now, because like in your 20s you'd be like, oh, these bitches are tragic, but like
to a degree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I haven't done a ton of dating though, so I do struggle just in general a little.
Okay.
Because I just haven't dated a ton. Semi by choice, semi by just lack of confidence in life. Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I'm the same way too. Like even as an adult, I don't think I've done as much dating as other people. Like I haven't been on. I tried the apps one time and it didn't end well, and I was like, I'm done. So like, I didn't really.
Oh, you don't do the apps?
Nah, man. Everybody keeps telling
probably
me
for the best. I don't know.
Well, because my fear about the apps, because I've heard about it and I've seen it, and I've even kind of seen it in my friends. It's like I'm afraid. Okay, I'm gonna get mushy, but like I'm secretly a romantic, so I always believe in like meeting somebody and hitting it off and like going from there. So that's part of it. And two, I kind of feel like sometimes, I'm not saying always, but like some of the ways that people look at it, they don't look at love as like love. They look at it as like a numbers game. So it's like if I ask 5-10 women out and 2 of them say yes, then they go for that, and then from there do more math, and then like whoever is still stuck around, then they just stay with that person even if they're not really into them. It's like, well, it's a numbers game. Like I don't want to be alone, so fuck it, I'll just do this for a while. Then something else comes along, and usually somebody gets hurt when that situation happens. So like, and of course it always, you know, and there's the flip side of that coin. Just because you meet somebody naturally like out in the world, like we're supposed to in romance novels or books or whatever, like doesn't mean it necessarily always works out that way. But that's my whole hang up of the dating apps thing, is I don't want to start getting in my head of like looking at it as a numbers game.
Yeah, now I've met some people who are like, oh, you just have to swipe on like everything that'll increase your chances of matching with someone, and then you do the messaging, and then it's a little like cold in a way. Yeah,
it's like I don't want to cold call for dates. That's basically what it breaks down to. Like I don't want to do that shit as a job, so there's no way I want to do that shit in my motherfucking love life.
For sure. Yeah, I feel the same way. I do. I do the apps, but like I would prefer in a lot of ways to, I think, meet someone person to person.
Yeah, and that's the tragic thing about our situation, like as adults, because like usually if you meet somebody, it's usually with like within a friend group, and then if it doesn't work out, it's kind of awkward because then friends get split in half, and people stop talking to each other, and then it's like people got to choose sides, and it's like who was closer to who, or like or what if like you were friends with that other person and like y'all got close, but like now y'all can't be friends anymore because they were friends with the other person first, even though they don't really fuck with them like that. It's like, it's too much. It's a lot.
Being a person is hard.
Yes, indeed. But I tell you what's not hard: watching Sex in the City. That shit is easy. That shit is easy. I can do
that. So, like we said, this is not the last episode ever we're going to watch of the show. Obviously, we're going through the whole series, but we are taking a break to really fulfill the promise of our title of Show Me What I've Been Missing and try some other media. We're going to pick a movie, TBD, but we'll announce what it is, you know, beforehand, so you know what movie we watch. Watch along if you want. And in the meantime, where can they find you?
If you want to find me personally, you can find me at Mack Diddy Combs. That's MackDiddyCombs, Mack Diddy Combs, on Instagram and Twitter. And I think you can find me on Facebook with that as well. If you can't, just type in Chris Mack. You'll see my face, and then just friend request me, and I'll say yes.
And you can find me at Elizabeth Movies on Instagram and Twitter, all lowercase. Elizabeth with a Z, if it matters, if anyone knows.
It does matter.
It does matter. But and again, I don't think I'm listed as that on Facebook, but you can find me by typing my name into Facebook as well. Although there's a lot of Elizabeth Stanton, so it might be tricky. And where can they find us, the show?
All right. If you're looking for us, you can find us at Show Me What Pod on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you're looking for us on Twitter, you can find us at S What Podcast. That is capital S, capital W, capital P for podcast on Twitter. So Show Me What Podcast on everything else, and S What Podcast on Twitter. You can find us there. Follow us. We'll give you updates on like upcoming shows. We'll also be giving you updates on our first special long episode on the movies. So be looking out for that, because I think we're gonna pick a really good one.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's it.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we will be back next week.
All hail Queen Libby.